Happy Friday. I'm starting a new segment today called High Five Friday. High Five. And High Five Friday is where I randomly pull questions that stood out for one reason or another off the comments section from my YouTube channel and possibly even from the website, though I think I'm caught up on the website. So if you've submitted questions there and you haven't received an answer, maybe you'll resubmit them. So let's kick off High Five Friday with a question from Dylan K. And Dylan asks, is it worth it to buy this bike for $600? Seems fairly priced. Well, the bike he's referring to is the Nishiki Colorado Comp 27.5 Plus that I drug out of the basement not long ago, got back together and back out onto the trail. When I purchased that bike, it was $379 on sale. Then it started going up. And it went up to crazy levels. I've seen people report it as high as $749 recently. That's within the last few weeks. He's found it for $600, and I saw someone else that said they had a discount coupon code for Dick's Sporting Goods that knocked 40% off that. I don't know how they managed that, but is it worth it to spend $600 on a Nishiki Colorado Comp? Well, a couple of things. Number one, Dylan, the Colorado Comp, to me, is not worth $600 because I paid $379 for it. However, had I have not paid $379 for it, I think $500 would be fair. $600 probably now, yes, simply because we have the pandemic, there's the bike shortage. I know bikes locally that are selling for more than they cost retail just because people are willing to pay that. So, yeah, probably so. I mean, it's up to the individual person, but $600 right now with the bike shortage, probably. So, high five, Dylan. High five. Next up, this is from McLovin Bikes. Love the name. McLovin Bikes asking, what's up with my printer? It's like all over the place here. See what I'm talking about? This printer, it's the war. If you've ever watched Office Space, the movie Office Space, the guy that got into it with the fax machine, that's me with my printer. One of these days, it's going to get what's coming to it. But McLovin Bikes asks, will 29er wheels fit the comp? He's talking about the Schwinn aluminum comp. Good question, McLovin. Let me find out. Here is the Schwinn aluminum comp's factory fork, and this is my last new Cycle Deals Continental WTB combo wheel set, which is a 29-inch wheel set, and I haven't aired up the tire, but as you can see, there is plenty of room for this wheel, so a 29er will fit on the aluminum comp, at least up front. Now when you get to the back, no. So there you go, McLovin. Will fit on the front, but not on the back. 29 wheels don't fit the frame that well. So if you want a mullet bike, then have at it. If you want 29 all the way around, gonna have to choose a different frame. High five. Up next, Jeffrey Fast. He asks, I haven't switched to tubeless yet, so I'm interested in the comment that you made towards the end. He's talking about the end of the last video. He says, on going that route to save some weight and what's involved, thanks. And Blank Room Soup commented, tubeless only makes sense if you're running super low pressure on trails you keep riding that give you, or trails that you ride that keep giving you flat. Wow, just totally mangling this. Trails that you ride that keep giving you flat. It's totally not worth it for the weight saving alone, in my opinion. Okay, Blank Room Soup, I kind of agree with you. I am not a super huge fan of tubeless. I know a lot of people are, and that's going to cause some angst here. But let me tell you why. This is the wheel, the front wheel, off the Schwinn Axum DP, which I'm converted. This is tubeless. I don't know if you can hear it. But there's all kinds of liquid down in there, and that liquid is my sealant, my squirt sealant. This is what I use. Squirt seal, tire sealant with bead block. And where's the bead block? Here's the bead blocker, or bead block. It's actually already in this large bottle, but on the smaller bottles that I've had two other smaller bottles, and you added this to it. But it's good stuff. It works well, and no ammonia, so no bad fumes. It is latex based, so if you have a latex allergy, then it can make you a little itchy. But anyway, long story short, I am not a fan of setting up tubeless because I'm so bad at it. You know, I see people all the time. There's just no problem at all. But not only do I have problems doing it, whenever I take it to the bike shop, which I often do to have to get bailed out, they struggle with it. They had this wheel set for 2 or 3 days and told me today when I picked it up said, because I brought my own sealant, I already had it taped up. They told me, for the love of everything holy, please do not let this run out of air. So even they struggled with this. Now, technically, this isn't labeled a tubeless ready wheel set, and there's that. That's a whole different thing. But even on full tubeless setups, rims made for tubeless tires and tubeless tires that are made to be tubeless tires, I still struggle. It's just such a fight getting the bead to set and not leak out. Not a fan. As a matter of fact, I'll put in an image here. Working with this, I believe it was this wheel or the rear wheel, I had sealant everywhere. It was just blowing all over the place. I've tried everything, and yes, I know the trick about taking out the valve core and blowing it that way, and I tried everything, straps. Anyway, I'm not a fan of it simply because of the trouble of this setup, and on top of that, most people don't need it. I'm just going to be honest. Now, that's probably going to get some comments and some thumbs downs probably, but it's true. Most people just don't need tubeless tires. Tubes are fine. They do add a little weight, but I don't think enough that most people are going to notice. And on top of that, I've seen more people have to leave the trail because of a problem with their tubeless tires than I ever have with anyone that's gotten a puncture on a tube that they couldn't fix out on the trail. So just note that. And that's kind of what I was talking about. I was talking about the struggle that I had and the mess that I made. But that is why I am not a fan. Now, if you are a serious rider, I get, it's worth the struggle. That's like owning, I don't know what, a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. It's going to take more maintenance, but the performance, it's part of the equation. But on bikes for the average person, which is, I think, what this channel appeals to, people that want to get out and have fun on a mountain bike trail in the most budget-friendly way that they can, just not a fan. Even though, I did do it, and like I said, I had to struggled with this so much I had to take it to the bike shop. So Jeffrey and Blank Room Soup, high five. Next up, Paul Aguirre, I don't know, it's spelled cool, whatever name it is. You should really get some of the Snail square chainring bolts. You mean these? Oh, got ripped off on this one. AliExpress. Go figure. Okay, let me talk about these for a second. Let me find a chain ring. There we go. Here is a Snail chain ring, a 30 tooth, which is what I usually use. Get this out of here. I'm going to need a crankset too. There we go. More like it. So let's talk about these Snail chain rings for a second, specifically these 30 tooth that I like to use. You see how that's made? It's not a flat chain ring. Guess I should probably get one of those too. Okay, so here is also, actually this is a 32 tooth, so slightly bigger, but you'll see there is no lip on this. See how there's a lip right there on the Snail and no lip on this. This is a flat chain ring. This, however, has that lip, so that means because of the way this mounts, goes into the holes here, and you can see that lip go into the hull. You see that? See how that goes into there? Because of that, you can't use these, because the way these mount, see how that's threaded? That mounts going into this little recess here. And then there's the screw that goes into it. It could be used with a flat chain ring. Of course, I have this one backwards, but you get the point. Can't do this while looking at the camera, but you get the point. This goes into, I'm gonna get this. Hold on. There we go. Let me get it at least semi-proper. Okay, there we go. See how that sits down in there, and then I could screw this into there, and then I would have, it's gonna fall, but I would have that nice look that people like, where it's not the machine finish. Personally, I like the machine finish. I think it adds a little depth down there, but I have plenty of these, as you can see, different colors. I just can't use them because I like the 30 tooth Snail chain ring, which mounts from the back and into that recess. So there you go. That's why. Who was that? Paul Aguirre. That's why I don't use those, or you haven't seen them yet, but as you can see, I've purchased them, so in the future, you will be seeing some on a bike. High five. Beskar Param. Please make a video on 2021 Walmart clearance bike prices. Ooh, yeah, about that. This is 2021, coming off of 2020, so unless you happen to luck up on A, bikes even being in a store, or B, one that happens to have been marked down for whatever reason, I don't think we're going to see the normal amount of clearance bikes in Walmart like we usually do, where they do in the late summer, early fall, sometimes even after Christmas. They'll do those clearance where I picked up that Bayside for 30 bucks. I don't think that's going to be a thing, at least for the foreseeable future, at least a en masse thing like we've normally seen. So sorry, but high five. Justin Thomas Ryan, please start taking off the warning stickers on your bikes. Bike is looking good. Can't remember which bike is. Oh, talking about Project Comp V2.2. So yes, it does look good. I agree, but thank you. A little humble about it apparently, right? I do. I think it's a good looking bike, but please start taking off the warning stickers. What he's talking about, move the camera over to here. He's talking about these stickers. Some people can't stand that those I leave on the bike, but as you'll see, they don't always come off super easy. They leave residue and stuff like that, but I'll be taking the one here off the Axum DP because, well, I have it partially peeled off already, but you know, some people are bothered by that. It doesn't really bother me. I have warning stickers on a bike. Over time, they'll fade, and if you do ever remove them, if you wait too long, they'll fade and leave an area showing where they were, but that's not a big deal to me. But thank you for commenting, and I hope that you take your warning stickers off your bike so you're happy with it. High five. Ross Wilson. Ross says, "Hi Kev and company. Thanks for the reviews." Well, you're very welcome. "I'm rebuilding a Zycle e-bike similar to this." He's talking about the Z1, that Unirose Z1, which I still have, by the way. I'll talk about that in just a second. "I have the replacement Cube battery from Uniro, but it didn't come with a charger, and I can't find it on their website or get a reply from customer service. Can anyone help where to get the specific charger for this battery?" I think I can help. I can't give you a link to a charger, but I can show you the charger that came with the bike. This is it. You can see I went fancy back here with a Sharpie Z1, so I don't get it confused with some of my other e-bikes. But there is the model number. More importantly, you see the output there. 42 volts, 2.0 amps. So that's what you need to look for, is that setting on a charger, which I'm pretty sure you can find, but you could probably search for this model number and find a charger to purchase, because that's the charger for the Z1. Now I don't have my keys, so I can't take the battery block out, but let me see. It's in a dark corner here, but I'll show you guys what he's talking about. I have the handlebar folded, but this is my Uniro Z1. That's Copernicus, but this is my Uniro Z1, and that white thing, that is the battery cube. And I don't have my keys out here, but it pops out. Well, it pops the other way, but it pops out, and this cube, it's like this wide, and well, that dimensions the rest of the dimensions. But that comes out, you can use it as a power bank, you can take it inside with you to charge. It's a pretty good setup. They even have a larger version of this that's, I think, almost twice the capacity. It's just super impressive. Now you may be asking, why I still have this bike? It was a review unit, and I've already done the review on it, and I've kept riding it because I really, really like this. This is tied, you know, the electric XP is just hard to beat. The overall value for what it is, but I have so much fun on this little bike. I ride it here recently. It's been what I've been riding, but the reason I still have it is because after my review, I mentioned that they didn't have an instruction booklet for this. I'm familiar with the instruction booklet that they sent with this because I've seen it with a couple of other bikes, and it's kind of a generic, and it in no way applied to this specific bike. So I offered to write an instruction booklet for them. My price? I want this bike. So that's what I'm doing, and I should be finishing it up here within the next week. And they'll have an instruction booklet that new buyers can use and actually get some useful instructions. And I get to keep the Z1, and that makes Copernicus happy. So there we go. High five, Ross, and I hope that you can find a charger. Only 2 left, so my next to last is from Harvey Jones Woodsman. And you see all this ink. Before I get to this, let me tell you why this looks like this. I should have already just shown this in a nice image on the screen, but what I'm looking at is this. And the reason this is all messed up, they say the sure way to break a printer is to buy new ink cartridges for it, especially if you buy more than one. Well, I bought 5 because I've been using my printer so much lately, and today I haven't even put the new cartridges in, and it started chewing up paper for some reason, and it got a paper jam. And, I've already told you that it got me so mad I was like the guy off Office Space. So let's just say I found out you can physically assault a printer enough that it will work at least for 2 more pages. But Harvey Jones Woodman asks, my question is, how did you not feel or hear something going wrong? I'm hella sensitive to any new or unusual noise or feeling on my bike. What Mr. Jones Woodsman is talking about, I can't even say this. Harvey Jones Woodsman, what he's talking about is the Schwinn boundary. Now I have the fork right here, and if you're a regular viewer, I did a video talking about this, how the bad bearing chewed up this crown race, and he's wondering how I couldn't feel that. Well, first off, it's a big box fork. They're not quiet by any standard. Second, I knew that it had 2 chewed up or missing bearings here. I didn't know it was chewed up, but I knew it had 2 missing bearings. So I'm expecting it to not be 100% smooth, but really, they're so noisy, even though this is a better fork than you get on many big box bikes. They're still getting beat to death. Trying to do what they can suspension wise, so it's just a noisy setup and grindy in general, so that's why I didn't notice. Plus, I will mention one thing. This being chewed up, I'm starting to wonder. I've been trying to go back through. I have gigs and gigs, well, terabytes actually, of video footage. I'm trying to go back through and find my original unboxing to see if maybe that was from shipping and I just somehow didn't notice it. I would think very unlikely because I was paying attention to this. So I'm looking at this area, but possible. So it's very likely that I never felt it chunk and grind those chunks away because it may have came like that. Oh, look at that. Another little aluminum flake coming off of this thing. So that is what Harvey Jones Woodsman is talking about. Thank you for the question. High five. Finalement, Dark Side Orbit. Hey Kev, do you got any information on whether there will be a 2021 Schwinn aluminum comp or any new bikes? What I have heard, I can't tell you. But I don't know what is going on right now because everything is so much in flux. I know that every bike manufacturer's plans from big box to local bike shop have changed just because of, everything that's going on right now. So, there's a big shortage in every facet of cycling. Or I will tell you, I haven't heard any changes to the Schwinn aluminum comp itself. So I can tell you that. So, but other than that, I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard from Schwinn since late December. And I'm assuming that's because everybody's struggling now to get their stuff. And, why do you talk with people when you don't know what stuff you're going to have? So we'll see what happens. But that's a really good question. And thanks for asking it. And I'm sure Schwinn will be happy that you're wanting to know, because that means there's some interest in their bikes. Well, we know there's interest in their bikes, but more interest because they're doing so good with these big box bikes. Matter of fact, even the local bike shop guy told me today, it's like, yeah, he's like, I wonder how long before I'm doing tubeless setups on Schwinn's regularly. Just because they're making, well, pointing at something you can't see, because they're making these good bikes now. So thanks, Schwinn, for that. And we hope to see more stuff, at least bikes available, because I know there are people looking. So that's it for High Five Friday. Thank you so much. High five to everyone. If you've made it this far through the video, I really appreciate it. I hope you're subscribed. If not, do so. Also, give this video a thumbs up and comment below if you like this. If so, maybe I'll start making this more regular, or I'll kind of gauge it with the interest. So comment below and let me know what you think about these type videos. At the very least, we can take the high five back, right? Make it not so cringe when people try to high five you. So we'll see. Thanks to everyone for watching this video. Have a great day.